Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to Wild Finds, where I'm searching thrift stores for media items. DVDs, CDs, books, records, cassettes, comics, video games, stuff like that. And look, we have the great 75% off sale. And what can I say? The name's not a lie, it is pretty great. So I have to find 20 items to get the sales price, but that shouldn't be a problem. I don't know what's going on. It's busier than Grand Central Station in here right now. I was able to find these right here. Stephen King's The Mist cassette tape audiobook. Very nice. And also Batman the movie cassette tape audiobook. And okay, so I was able to find 20 items. The music out here though is super loud. I can't seem to win today, but we'll try to get this done before the music comes back. Right now they're playing an advertisement. I found X-Men Days of Future Past. I found a lot of brand new sealed DVDs. Here's Roadhouse, Flight of the Navigator, The Imitation Game, Red Heat. Now I had just watched this maybe last week on VHS, awesome movie. And here's the DVD, brand new, very nice. Sneakers. I've never seen this one, so I decided to grab that. Got this one right here, the Ed Sullivan Show. This might have a little bit of value. Harper's Island. I think I've actually sold this before in the past, so we're gonna grab this one. Rush Hour 1, 2, and 3. This is a strange book here with just photos. And I also got all these novels by a guy, Robert Galbraith. I've never heard of him before. Maybe they'll lot together. I'm kind of just grabbing enough to have 20, because if you grab 20 items, like I said before, you get 75% off. Anyways, let's move along here. The Mist, I already showed that one. That's so cool. I have another cassette tape like this of Smokers Inc. And now I have The Mist too. And we got this one here, Batman, City Hunter. Now I've watched the anime before, but Jackie Chan did an adaptation, live action, and I'll watch that. Uh-oh, here's the music. Gotta wrap up soon. And here's The Champ. I have the VHS, and great movie. And here's the DVD. Like, seriously though, why is the music so loud? Now at this next thrift store here. And here we are, and now they have shelves. That's kind of exciting. They used to have a big bin over here. They still have some smaller bins, but yes, these two shelves right here should make browsing easier. Greatest ballets of the world. This might have value. I'll put this one aside. DVDs, CDs, VHS, 5 for $1. Witchboard. This is a good movie. Portrait in Black, Madame X. I'll look this one up. The Deliberate Stranger. Found this one right here, the Best of RVD TV Volume 1. Looks kind of more like an internet show than an actual television show, but very interesting finds right there. RVD is the man.
Thank you, sir.
This movie's called The Shaft. Over here we have a Godzilla's Revenge. Not bad, okay. Oceans 11, 12, 13. Now the DVD of this isn't very valuable, but this is the Blu-ray, still brand new. Gonna put Andy back, but they do have this one, the Soupy Sales Collection. There's some more modern titles up here. 12 Years a Slave, Avengers, Gretel and Hansel. I saw this at the drive-in. I thought it was okay, I guess. I'll grab this one. Might as well. I might already own it, I forget. They have one, Dragon Tiger Gate. Not really sure what to make of this one. Watchers. No, not the Dean Koontz movie, but directed by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. I saw this one in the theater too. It wasn't very good. So one of M. Night's daughters gets to be a pop star, the other one a movie director. Nepotism must be awesome when it works in your favor. Anywho, up here we have Silent Hill. This might be the best video game adaptation. This is a pretty solid movie for what it is. John Tucker Must Die. I get this confused with Dale and Tucker versus Evil sometimes, just when I look at it real quick. And okay, they have a bunch more here that I'm gonna look through, and I'll let you know what I find. And okay, grab these right here, the Limp Bizkit CD. Now I grab a lot of like 90s and early 2000s music, just a lot together, so I picked that one up. And this one, Kolchak, The Night Stalker. Now I had grabbed the Night Stalker made for TV movies DVD set, and that one's pretty valuable. This one right here is the TV series, and not worth quite as much, but I grabbed it anyways. And this one right here, Greatest Ballets of the World. This ended up being worth about maybe 12 bucks or so, so grab that one. And now these ones, the Great Courses, these sometimes have value, and this one does, maybe $10, so I grabbed that. And grab the Oceans 11, 12, 13 Blu-ray. It seems to be worth about 18, so very nice there. Witchboard, not really sure how much that one's worth. Godzilla's Revenge, maybe about an $8 one. Soupy Sales, I forget on that one too. And here's the ones I'm going to keep for myself, The Deliberate Stranger, and it's about Ted Bundy, and it stars Mark Harmon. So this actually looks pretty cool. And archive collection, which means it's at least a little bit hard to find. Very nice there. And The Shaft. Maybe I'll watch this, maybe I won't get around to it, but it'll be in the watch pile. There we go. RVD, that'll be in the watch pile. Gretel and Hansel and Watchers. If I ever decide to rewatch those, I'll have them. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Now this looks like it could be halfway decent. I've never seen it before, so we're gonna grab that. And this just looks like the type of trash that entertains me. Street Wars. Very nice right there. So I wasn't very thorough my first browse. I found a couple more I want to grab for myself. This double feature, Hulk Hogan's Mr. Nanny and Suburban Commando. These are so cheesy in the best way possible. I love these movies. And also, I've never seen this one before, The Hard Way with Michael J. Fox and James Woods. They also have more books over here and CDs, and they reorganized it. Very nice. So I thought this was a vinyl at first. It's a calendar from 2023. Just 2 years out of date, not as exciting as a record would be. Nice, I found a good item right here. A Super Audio CD. I don't know if I've ever talked about these on the channel before, but if you have a special CD player, these are like much like higher definition sound, and they can be pretty valuable. So definitely a good score there. You can usually tell when they're a Super Audio CD because they have this sticker, and they come in a unique case like this right here. Now at this thrift store here. Ooh, and very nice. The DVDs here are also 5 for $1. I Smile Back with Sarah Silverman. I do like Sarah Silverman, but I'm not sure if this is a comedy or a drama. But for 5 for $1, I'll grab that. Hopefully there's 4 more I can grab. Another Great Courses one like I found at the Les place. This might have some value. I'll put that aside. Got Donnie Darko here. Now I don't need this one, but this is a great movie. When it first came out, I was really obsessed with it. And if you can find the VHS of this one, it's pretty valuable. Found this one here. Date movie, epic movie, Meet the Spartans. Those 3 films make Dude, Where's My Car look like a masterpiece. What an awful, awful group of movies right here. Did find this one though that looks interesting. In Search of the Last Action Heroes documentary. Library copy, but still. I think I'll grab this one. I also found this one right here, the Sarah Plain and Tall collection, and to take advantage of the 5 for $1, I'm gonna grab that. Last Action Heroes, Sanctuary, Universal Soldiers, The Return with Van Damme. I've never seen that one. And I Smile Back. So now at this flea market here, I didn't think there would be anything worth recording, but I did find one thing over here. There's all these DJ CDs, and I've had good luck selling these in the past. New music tracks, and there's a ton of them. And they're $2 each. Hello, you got these DJ CDs there. Would you take 40 for all of them?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
I got those.
Yeah.
These ones here are the video ones.
Uh-huh.
But I was asking a little bit more for, but I'll sell those to you too for this. Everything there.
Okay, 40 bucks. Cool.
40 bucks.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
Go.
I'll get a bag and bag them up for you.
Yeah. Nice. Great deal there for $40. Very nice. And these are a bit dirty from being at the flea market, but I checked a bunch and they're pretty good shape. I didn't notice any scratching. There's probably about 70 or 80 of them, so I paid about 50 cents each. And over here we have some goodies. Nightmare on Elm Street 2 VHS. It's the Video Treasures one, which isn't as valuable, but still pretty cool. We got a Resident Evil Director's Cut. Case only. Hello, how much on the VHS tapes?
You want the whole box for 30 bucks?
Not really, I probably only want a couple.
$3 each?
$3. How much on the empty case here?
$5.
$5. I'll do $5 for the two.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, not bad for $5 there. The Nightmare on Elm Street 2, that's probably about $10 to $15. And the Resident Evil Director's Cut case only. I'll put this in a replacement case. I have plenty of those at home, and can maybe get about 20 bucks or so for that one. At the next spot here, only found one thing worth buying. White Man's Burden, still brand new. Seems to have been out of print for a while. Worth about 12 bucks plus shipping or so. And now at the next thrift store here. Now here in the DVD section, there's certain titles you find in every thrift store. There's like 12 copies of Sex and the City, box sets there. 2 copies of Hitch. That's super, super common. Wedding Crashers, cheaper by the dozen. You can almost take this title literally here. There you go, back there you go. But I did find some CDs here. This one, Hedwig and the Angry Inch. This one's kind of rare, but the CD is scratched beyond repair. It looks very, very bad condition. I don't know if that shows up on camera, but I'm gonna skip that one. I am gonna grab this, seems like an obscure Ringo Starr, like greatest hits anthology CD. Nice. We got the Meat Puppets here. Now there's certain bands that are more popular because of other people, and I definitely think because of Kurt Cobain, the Meat Puppets are a little bit more popular than they would have been. I'd also say that the Misfits is slightly more popular because of Metallica, and the band Him has to be more popular, at least in America, because of Bam Margera. But anyways, yes, Meat Puppets, gonna grab that one. And they had 2 by a group I've never heard of before, Fleet Foxes. Now I'm at the Goodwill here, and surprisingly they have a bootleg copy of the Ewok Adventure. It seems to just be one movie though. I'm guessing the first movie, I kind of forget. But if you're gonna bootleg it, why not just make it with both movies? Regardless, I think I'm gonna grab this for $2.99. And okay, back at home here, and unfortunately the Ewoks movie, it's just the first one. That's okay. It is good quality though. I'm surprised these movies aren't more popular. I mean, they are based on Star Wars, and they came out in the 80s. I guess when they came out, people just thought they were too kiddie or something, or maybe they just didn't think they were very good movies. But I think they're pretty fun from what I remember. So yeah, glad to buy this one. I think it was $2.99, I kind of forget. But I did go to another Goodwill where all the media is 59 cents, and I bought a ton of stuff. And right here we have some sealed video games. And now I really thought I hit the jackpot on some of these. Silent Hill games on PlayStation 2 are worth a ton. And here it is on PlayStation 3. But it's not really worth very much. I think this is only like $20, even still sealed. And that's because these aren't considered very good ports. It's Silent Hill 2 and 3, but they didn't have like the original files for the games. So they had to remake them from scratch. And apparently they didn't do a very good job. And yeah, people just don't like these versions of Silent Hill 2 and 3. Also thought this might be a valuable Uncharted dual pack. It is the greatest hits version. But yeah, these games are just so common that this is only worth about 15 bucks or so. And the AC/DC Live Rock Band track pack, this is like a $3 game. I was really disappointed on that one. But that's okay. I did better on some of these VHS here. Halloween, the media release. It does have a tear that's painful to look at, but it is a hard to find movie in this early release. Very nice, very nice. The Fair, not a very good movie, but a lot of horror movies are collectibles, so glad to find that one. Got some more movies here. Bigfoot, this looks so cheesy. This looks like it could be a fun time. Oh my god, what is going on with this cover? Very nice. We got Death Wish, Dracula, Back to the Future 2 and 3. And now here's some new and sealed VHS tapes. Pet Sematary, very nice. Born Free, this looks like a 1980s release. So that could have some value. Mighty Joe Young and Mac and Me. Mac and Me is, a cheesy movie. And it's not like super popular. Something like E.T., which is considered a better movie, wouldn't be worth very much, still sealed, because it's just so common to find. So this is a little bit harder to find, still brand new. So maybe this is worth about 15 bucks or so. We also have the Star Wars Trilogy VHS, the reissue movies there, still brand new. I found this paperback, the serial killer Donald Pee Wee Gaskins. And this seems to be about a $30 book or so, so very nice there. 50 Cent, I'm not the biggest fan of his music, but I do think his biography would be entertaining to read. I like reading about how celebrities grew up, and he probably has a pretty interesting story. So very nice right there. We also got some Blu-rays. The Never-Ending Story, Baby Driver, Fox and the Hound Disney Movie Club exclusive version, very nice. And then a whole bunch of Queen Blu-rays. Very surprised that they had these at the Goodwill. Very nice, very nice. And here's a Queen DVD. I also found this, the Sound of Music Blu-ray box set. And it includes all these things here, except for it's missing the, what is it missing? The hand-painted music box. But it still has the DVDs and like the book and stuff. So this was very surprising to find. But that's not all. We also got some comics. I don't find comics there very much, so some old 1980s Fantastic Four ones, and a whole nice little run of Spider-Man comics. Web of Spider-Man 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. And I love Spider-Man, and I also collect Spider-Man comics. So, very nice there. We got the Mario Kart Loose. You might remember that video I made that was all Goodwill finds. Well, the guy in that video who found the Final Fantasy 3, he traded me this game. I had found a Super Mario Strikers Complete, and he wanted that game, so he traded me this Mario Kart Loose disc only. So that was a good trade. Appreciate that. Got some modern CDs, or somewhat modern CDs here. Vampire Weekend, Wilco, Eminem Encore. Instead, I was very surprised to find this. This is an obscure 80s, 90s hardcore band. And yeah, I was just, this doesn't pop up very often at thrift stores, so very nice. We got Elvira also, Man of War, Ben Folds 5. People might not realize I'm a huge Ben Folds fan, so had to grab that one. And also found a Marty Friedman solo CD. The name of the CD is Introduction. So I'm assuming this is his first solo album right there. And also found a bunch of really cool hip-hop and rap cassette tapes. Oh, good golly, these are very sweet right here. Very nice. Ooh la la, there's some Nas right there. DMX. And I think this one is probably the most valuable one, The Roots Organize. And I forgot to talk about this right here. Now, this is used to play your VHS-C tapes from your little mini camcorders that were popular in the 90s, early 2000s, and you can play those in your VCR. I used to do public access way back in the day, and we would have to use these And these can be worth between like $15 and $30 depending on the brand and stuff. So very nice find there, and that's definitely something people overlook at thrift stores. But wait, the video ain't over yet. Check out all these movies here. These are movies I watched over the last couple months or so, and we're gonna talk about them. And okay, here we go. I rewatched Raw Deal. Good time right there. Now, Arnold Schwarzenegger has to be the greatest movie star of all time. Not the greatest actor of all time, that's for sure, but greatest movie star, in my opinion. And even his not quite as good efforts are still better than most other movies. So yes, Raw Deal, solid action flick right there. For instance, Martin Coven's Steel Justice. This was pretty good too, but I'll still say Raw Deal is probably better than Steel Justice. This is almost like a hidden gem. It's good, but not like a masterpiece or anything. But I did have fun with Steel Justice here. Now this movie, Mud, I'd never heard of this until I picked it up, and this was surprisingly really good. The type of movie that I'm definitely into. Kind of like a gritty crime movie. A very good time was had with this one. Some of these I watched like months ago, so I kind of forget exact details, but I know if I like them or not. Black Sunday. Now, this was a fun movie. Maybe fun is the wrong term, but it was a cool movie. About terrorists. One of the terrorists is Bruce Dern, and he wants to, blow up a blimp at the Super Bowl. And the main characters are the terrorists, so you kind of don't know who to root for, but it is a good movie, so I do recommend Black Sunday there. Everest. This was kind of boring. It's just people, they climb up Everest. It's a true story, and most of the people die, and it's just kind of not that fun to watch. Once you've seen a movie like Cliffhanger, where there's tons of action on a mountain, just people climbing up a mountain and freezing just isn't quite as interesting. But it was okay. I would say it's okay at best. 1917, rewatch, and oh my god, this movie is so awesome. City of the Living Dead, this was a rewatch. And Lucio Fulci movies are kind of like, the plot is kind of hard to understand and all over the place, but the gore is fantastic, and I do like City of the Living Dead. Phantasm, I checked out Phantasm 4 and 5, and kind of like the other movies in the series, they're very like, they seem like they're dreams, and they kind of don't make any sense. But part 4 was pretty fun, and 5 wasn't so great, but they're okay. If you like the other ones, you might like Phantasm 4 and 5. I'm sure a lot of people have already watched those, so they don't need me to tell them what to do. This one, Win-Win, was surprisingly really awesome. Now, this kid, he plays a wrestler with like kind of a degenerate mom, so he has to move in with Paul Giamatti's character. And this kid is a first-time actor, and he's very convincing and very just like good at acting. And I had a really good time with that one. I highly recommend Win-Win. King of California was pretty good. Michael Douglas is kind of like a nutcase, and his daughter indulges his like weird fantasies of it seems so weird when I'm gonna say it, but he's looking for buried treasure inside, I think, Costco or like Sam's Club or something, and it's pretty good. It's all right. Lonesome Jim, this is directed by Steve Buscemi, and I didn't like this one as much. It's all right. Problem with movies like this is I didn't really like the main character. It's kind of like Garden State. Like, if you don't like the main character, then why are you watching it? And this movie Sideways I didn't like when I first saw it because the main characters are so scummy. But on rewatch, I do like this a lot more. But I will say this, though, it's probably my least favorite Alexander Payne movie. But Sideways was much better this time that I rewatched it than I thought it was the first time I saw it. And What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Absolute classic. Great movie right there. And more here, Nightmares. This is a horror anthology movie, and most of the stories are just kind of mediocre, except for this one with Emilio Estevez, where he plays a teenage punk rocker kid who's obsessed with arcade games. It has tons of punk on the soundtrack. He listens to punk on his headphones, and he goes into arcades and he hustles people at the games, and it's just so cool. And he becomes obsessed with the game, and the game kind of has a life of its own, and the game like attacks him. It reminds me of there's something else where like a guy has to fight an arcade like being, but I forget what that is at the moment. But yes, Nightmares is pretty good, especially because of the Emilio Estevez segment there. Planet Terror rewatch, fantastic movie right there. Now, Planet Terror is definitely in the top 5 zombie movies of all time if you don't include movies directed by George Romero. And yeah, love me some Planet Terror. And here we have this stuff. This was a rewatch. What was funny rewatching it, there's a scene where there's a dog and like its master, and you can clearly hear someone else off screen giving the dog commands. It's like, shh, you stay right there, don't move, don't move. Like you hear that like while a dialogue scene is taking place. Just kind of funny. So if you watch this stuff, look out for the guy talking to the dog. Next up is Violent Cop. This movie was just okay, but it does have some really good scenes, some very entertaining scenes, and like just, it's pretty over the top at moments. So yeah, this was pretty good. Violent Cop. The Lords of Flatbush. This was pretty good too. It was a while since I watched this. I don't really have any specific things to say about it, but I had a pretty good time with that one. Now we have Charles Bronson in Break Heart Pass. Kind of like a Western, but most of it takes place inside of a train. And good time. I'm more into the modern 70s Charles Bronson movies as opposed to the Western ones, but this was pretty good. Jersey Girl, first time watch. It was okay. The tone is a little weird at points. Like it's trying to be a sweet like family movie, but it has Kevin Smith like perverted jokes and stuff. So it's kind of like it clashes at times, but not too bad. And I watched this one. Well, I started watching this one because Kevin Smith is in it. But after 10 minutes, I realized it just seemed like it was going to be too much of a chick flick and not what I'm into. So I didn't want to finish this one. So I didn't watch that. I did finish Hours, and this is a pretty good movie. The plot is a little strange. It takes place during a hurricane, and Paul Walker is in the hospital, and his baby daughter, he's like fighting for its life. It's on a ventilator, but they lost power. So basically, the whole movie, he has to use a hand crank to power the electricity to keep his daughter alive. It should basically be called Hand Crank the Movie. So if you like movies about hand cranks, this is one of the best ones. This movie right here, Big Business. Now, the Blu-ray here, mint condition, it just didn't work, so I didn't get to watch this one. Kind of disappointing there. I did watch Wrongfully Accused though, and it was way better than I thought it was going to be. I remember watching it, but I didn't really remember how much I liked it. And yeah, it's pretty funny. It had some very funny jokes at times. A lot of jokes are kind of lame, but the jokes that are funny are super funny. So I do recommend Wrongfully Accused. I think I recommend Spy Hard too. I kind of forget. I need to rewatch that one as well. But yeah, Wrongfully Accused is pretty good. La Femme Nikita, it's kind of boring. It's 2 hours, and in that 2 hours, there's probably only action maybe for 15 minutes. So after seeing movies like, I recently saw Ballerina in the theaters, and I like that movie a lot, and it's non-stop action. So when you're used to watching movies like that are constant non-stop action, it's kind of hard to watch movies like this. It was okay, not the greatest thing as far as I'm concerned, but not a bad movie or anything. Now, Blood Simple here. This has action at times, but it's more just like a thriller. Obvious classic there, the Coen brothers' first movie, and it's fantastic. And I talked about seeing Ballerina in the theater. Other movies I saw in the theater, Jurassic World Rebirth. That was pretty good. Probably the best Jurassic World movie. I had a pretty good time with that one. I did fall asleep for about 10 minutes or so. Those heated seats are just too comfortable, so I dozed off. I don't know how the little girl became friends with the little dinosaur, and I didn't see them do like one little plot point. But overall, I got the basic gist, and it was a good time. Another movie, 28 Years Later. I love that movie. It was so awesome. People seem to be complaining about the ending, kind of comes out of nowhere. I don't care. I like the ending too. I liked everything about the movie. It was very intense at times. The Lilo and Stitch live action remake, probably the best Disney live action remake that they've made. So that was pretty good. Karate Kid Legends, a little generic, but it was all right. A movie I did like a lot though is one called Secret Mall Apartment. It's a documentary about people in Providence, Rhode Island. That's where I'm from. They snuck into the Providence Place Mall and they built an apartment in like a back room area no one knew about. And just seeing all the places in Rhode Island in the film and just the stuff they were talking about, it was so cool. I enjoyed Secret Mall Apartment a lot. One thing I will say, they didn't really use it as an apartment. You find out watching the movie, it was more like an art project than like a real apartment that they needed to live in. But anyways, yeah, highly recommend Secret Mall Apartment. Let's see what else we got. Rockstar. You saw my buddy TJ. He gave me this movie at the flea market. That was very nice of him. You might have missed why he gave it to me. He was talking about how I was at a Air Supply concert. I go to free concerts at Disney's Epcot just for the heck of it. So I was at an Air Supply concert, and they make fun of Air Supply in this movie. And I had mentioned, oh, I had never seen it. So he gave me this movie, and it's pretty good. It's funny at times. Sometimes it's a comedy, and then it'll kind of turn into like a drama movie. So it's drama, comedy. I'm rambling. Anyways, yes, Rockstar was a pretty good time. Problem Child. These movies are guilty pleasures of mine. Maybe no, I take that back. I don't even feel guilty about it. I love Problem Child 1 and 2. Now the third one is a made-for-TV movie, and it's not even officially released in the United States. This is an import, and I wasn't sure if this was going to work because it says Region 2 on the back there. But sometimes they just say Region 2, and they'll play all regions. And it did, and I watched Problem Child 3 for the first time, and for a, made-for-TV Problem Child movie that doesn't star the two main actors, it was actually probably a little bit better than I thought it would be. Obviously, of all these movies, don't go and watch Problem Child 3 first, but it was a little bit better than I thought it would be. Shark Night, a very dumb movie. It takes place on a lake and there's sharks, and they explain it by it's a saltwater lake. And I didn't even know that was possible. There's saltwater lakes with sharks, but apparently it is. So the whole movie I was like, this isn't possible, but I looked it up. It actually is possible. It's a very silly, over-the-top movie. Kind of takes Jaws and then mixes it with there's humans doing evil stuff too. So it kind of is like a slasher movie as well. And just dumb, over-the-top fun for this one. It's a 6.5 out of 10. It's all right. Halloween, classic, obviously. Rewatched that one. But I will say I probably had more fun rewatching Halloween 2. It's going to sound like blasphemy, but there's too much just setup in Halloween, where Halloween 2, you get right into the action. The first Halloween spends too much time with Michael Myers driving around town just in a car. He's been in an institution his whole life, but he's good enough at driving where he doesn't get pulled over. And imagine if he did get pulled over, that would be a pretty funny scene right there. So yes, had fun with both Halloweens. Halloween 2, even better than I remember. Awesome time right there. And oh my God, Dan in real life, I was very surprised with how much I like this movie. And surprisingly, this takes place in Rhode Island. I was very surprised with that. Just a really well-made movie right there. The Whackness, this was pretty good. Not my favorite thing ever, but decent. Maybe this one I'll give a 7.5 out of 10. The Sitter. This started off, it was very much a ripoff of this movie right here, Adventures in Babysitting. But then it kind of changed it up a little bit, and it was a pretty good time. Adventures in Babysitting is way better, though. This is going to sound like blasphemy. Brewster's Millions. I wasn't that into this movie, and I don't think I like Richard Pryor's movies that much. I'm a much bigger fan of his stand-up and his sketch comedy on TV. I just, I rewatched, what's that other one I rewatched? The Thunder's Still Going. That's 10 seconds long. Sorry, I just got interrupted by a bunch of thunder. As I was saying, yeah, so Brewster's Millions, and a while back I watched Stir Crazy, and The Toy I used to like as a little kid. When I rewatched that, I kind of thought it was a little bit boring. I just might not like Richard Pryor movies. People are going to be upset with me in the comments on that one. But yeah, I will watch other movies of his. Maybe I'll like those. But yes, moving right along here, the to-do list. This was just okay. It's very, very childish. It seems like it was written by a 13-year-old. There's an actual scene in the movie. She's a lifeguard at the local pool, and they play off the movie Caddyshack, where there's a candy bar in the swimming pool, and she finds what she thinks is a candy bar in the swimming pool, and it's like, oh, just like Caddyshack, huh? And she takes a bite out of it, but it's not a candy bar this time around. So that's the type of humor you can expect from this movie, The To-Do List. But I did finish it, and I thought it was okay. This one right here, now I'm a big David Cross fan. This seems to be like from the same production team. This wasn't good enough for me to continue watching. I laughed a little bit at David Cross very early on, but 20 minutes in, I had went 10 minutes without laughing. And if you go 10 minutes without laughing at the beginning of a comedy movie, it's a very bad sign. So I didn't finish this one. Now, Paul Blart Mall Cop. This was surprisingly slightly better than I thought it would be, because it takes no brain power to watch. You kind of just sit and look at it and veg out. And there's like a high like concept kind of action plot point that takes up like half of the movie. So it's easy to watch in that regards. Not super funny or anything, but a little bit better than I thought it would be. Paul Blart Mall Cop. This gets a 6 out of 10. I have to take a little break here to wet my whistle. You know, it gets tiring talking for this long. It hurts my throat. But yes, moving right along here, we got Krull. Now I know that this is a book, but I don't own the DVD, but I did stream this on Tubi, and it was okay at best. I found it a little bit boring. I really wouldn't recommend Krull. It started off, I thought it would be better. Now this right here, Rare Cult Cinema 12 Films. I only watched one of these. It was Death Row Game Show. And it's very, very low budget and corny. But it was okay. It was entertaining enough. Death Row Game Show is alright. Here we have Stir of Echoes. Now this was pretty good, but there were some plot points that just kind of seem unrealistic. Like Kevin Bacon is middle-aged in this movie. And he's constantly going to keg parties and such. And that part just kind of didn't make sense. But Stir of Echoes, it's all right. This one, Dolan's Cadillac. This is based off a Stephen King novel that I've read. Not a novel, but a short story that I've read that I don't even remember. And this movie starts slow. It gets better towards the end. It's okay. Let's rank this one. 5.9 out of 10. And this one right here, we have whatever this name is. This is a bootleg. It's Turkish Star Wars. And a lot of people like how bad this movie is. I didn't think it was bad good. I just thought it was bad. Oh, it's not worth watching. Let's turn this off. I didn't get a kick out of Turkish Star Wars. I know people like it, but I just didn't feel like dealing with it. Moving along here, we got the Jason Bourne trilogy here. They were okay. I think they kind of had diminishing returns after the first one. I do want to watch parts 4 and 5. But yes, I liked part 1 the best. I think a problem with a lot of these newer action movies is they cut too quickly. I said how I liked Ballerina, and that one seems to hold on to the action a little bit longer. It's not just like someone punches and then it cuts to a different shot of someone dodging the punch and then like that constantly. So yes, that happens too much in the Bourne movies to make me not totally be in love with them. This one, Paper Hearts, is kind of weird because it's a half documentary about this girl making exactly like I said, a documentary about finding love, but then it becomes a scripted movie where she falls in love with Michael Cera, and I hate that part of the movie, but the documentary part of the movie I thought was okay. So let's rank this one. This gets a 7.1 out of 10. This one, Savage Sisters, okay, kind of cheesy 70s action movie. That's what I expected it to be. That was a little bit boring. I basically had this on in the background while I looked at my phone. So yeah, it's just all right. You can skip this one. It's not going to be a big deal if you never see Savage Sisters. But I did watch some TV shows here, and oh my god, it took so long, but I finally finished Sopranos. It's awesome, obviously. I don't know if I would go as far as saying it's the best TV show of all time, but it is very good. Breaking Bad is definitely better, and then I personally like other TV shows more as well. But yes, Sopranos, very awesome. Westworld, I just watched season 1. I liked aspects of this, and I didn't like other aspects. The park itself is pretty cool that they go to. There's so many just little things that it's like, why? Like, how do you explain this? To get into the amusement park they go into, they take a train which shrinks them, and then they go into mini amusement park, and like the engineers of the amusement park stand around looking over them. And it's just so bizarre. And the part where they talk about the engineers, I didn't like as much. I liked more when it talked about the robots. And this one changes it up a little bit, where it's like, oh, it's not the robots that are evil, it's the people. And yeah, it was just okay. I don't think I'm gonna finish the series. I actually read online that the series goes way downhill after this one. I probably will watch a recap of it on YouTube though. I am kind of interested in what happens to the characters. But yeah, Westworld, it was just okay. This show right here, Vice Principals, when it started, the first couple episodes, I wasn't that into it. And then I got really into it. And I loved it. I liked it a lot. I actually think this might be better than Righteous Gemstones, which I also finished. I just have the first season Blu-ray here, but it is on HBO Max, so I watched the second series too. Second season, I mean. And yes, very good time with Vice Principals. And at the final stretch of movies here, we got Trapper County War. This was a really fun time. A very over-the-top 80s action movie. Had fun hanging out with Donald Swayze. Very nice. The Bad Seed. Now this movie is over 2 hours. I thought it was a little bit too long. And it's very 1950s, where it's a horror movie. And obviously the Bad Seed, she's evil, she's killing people. She doesn't kill anyone on screen. Basically, she kills someone off screen very early in the movie. And the whole rest of the movie is like the mom like coming to terms with that. A modern movie, like she would be like stalking people and constantly killing every 5 minutes. This basically plays out like a play. It's shot like a play, and I think it was a play before it's a movie. And yeah, it's creepy at times, and it was pretty good. Not fully my thing, but it was all right. I enjoyed this one more. Even older movie, The Bride of Frankenstein. What's funny about old movies like this is the title of the movie and the covers will basically just be the climax. Like, this movie isn't about the Bride of Frankenstein. It's about Frankenstein. And then in the last 5 minutes, Doctor creates a bride for Frankenstein. Spoiler alert, she doesn't want to marry Frankenstein. So the title isn't even accurate. The Bride of Frankenstein. It should be called The Potential Bride of Frankenstein's Monster. But that's just way too long. So they shortened it to The Bride of Frankenstein. And it's pretty good. What's funny in this movie is, I forget if in the original Frankenstein if he can talk or not, but in this one he learns to talk, and he becomes friends with a blind guy, and the blind guy gets him into like drinking wine. So he'll drink wine and be like, good. And then he gets him to smoke cigars. Ooh, good. And I thought that was funny. And what's funny is I actually laughed harder at The Bride of Frankenstein than I did at this comedy movie, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Now this was pretty good. I just didn't like it as much as The Bride of Frankenstein. So both pretty good old Universal horror monster movies. Now we talked about the other Arnold movie, Raw Deal. This one, Red Heat, is even better. This has a really awesome scene towards the end where he's driving a bus and he's crashing into a bunch of stuff. And just overall, very entertaining action movie there. He does a Russian accent, and I guess he does a pretty good job. So I guess Arnold can like kind of act. He can act better than I can, at least. So I was making fun of Arnold. He's a better actor than I am, I'll admit to that. Yeah, so good time there. Runaway Train, a very well acted, very good action movie from the 80s right there. Now Warlock, I had never seen this movie, and I liked it a lot. I highly recommend Warlock. Good time right there. It does have some cheesy green screen, but that kind of just adds to the fun. Warlock was awesome, and the sequel is pretty darn good too. Warlock, the Armageddon. I like both of those. Night of the Living Dead, 1990 remake, rewatch. I've seen this probably 20 times before, and it's good every single time. The ultimate comfort movie. One of my favorite horror movies right there. Very good, very good. 6 days, 7 nights, first time watch. kind of like a action movie, but more geared towards the ladies. But it was pretty good. I had fun with this one, and the scenery was very nice. They're on an island for most of it. Drugstore Cowboy, good independent movie from the late 80s. I had a fun time with this one. Very well made. Fire and Stone, I didn't finish this one. I found it boring, but it was interesting. This guy right here, that's a very young Christopher Waltz, and I didn't really know he was an actor. I thought that he just like magically like was built for Inglourious Bastards, but nope, he once was young, and there he is painted on the cover there. The Truman Show, I hadn't seen this since the theater, and yeah, it was a good time. And what's funny is I was just a teenager when I saw this in the theater, and I remembered a lot of the movie. So it's weird that, like, how long ago was that? 25 years ago. Like, I still was able to remember most of the plot points and stuff, but it was still good a second time around. We had Dark Blue, kind of a gritty, like, action movie where he plays a corrupt cop, and this was a very good time. Pure Luck. This has very bad reviews. I thought it was funny. Martin Short is very funny in this. Danny Glover is like a no-nonsense type guy who has to, I guess they're looking for like a girl who also has bad luck like Martin Short, so they think Martin Short can find this girl because of his bad luck. Kind of convoluted plot. But Danny Glover plays a no-nonsense guy, and he's actually very intimidating in this movie. And yeah, I do recommend Pure Luck. Let's give this one a rating. Most people probably rank it 5 out of 10. I'll give it a 7.3 out of 10. This one, Deep Blue Sea. This one does have some practical effects with sharks, which look awesome. And then it has some CGI, which looks terrible. But once again, that kind of adds to the fun factor. But yeah, Deep Blue Sea, I had never seen it, and it's a pretty good time. And I had said, like, some of these movies I watched a really long time ago. The Ghost in the Darkness, I actually watched this before Val Kilmer passed away. And it's a very solid movie, apparently based on a true story. Michael Douglas there, his character is, like, helping a African tribe. I think it's Africa, right? Yeah, African tribe just against lion attacks. And he calls in Michael Douglas to help him out. And yes, I like that movie. But that's going to do it for this video. I do appreciate you watching. Go ahead, like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. I love to hear from you, and I'll see you next time around.